Sign up with my Webull link and get 10 free shares. Link will be in the description below. So, stocks that I'm watching this week. So, starting off with the first stock is Oracle. So, looking at Oracle on the daily charts. So, Oracle on the daily chart, basically, this Friday, Oracle had a little trouble finishing over the 9-day moving average. We finished below the 9-day moving average, but I feel like if we can try to break out the 9-day moving average, we can see further upside for Oracle. The next line of resistance that we would need to break would be 159. And looking at Oracle on the 4-hour time chart, so it's kind of looking a little interesting. The reason I say that is because uh, basically, if you look on what day was it? July 30th. The 9 and 20 crossed over the 50, and we were basically in an uptrend. Currently, I'd say we're in a downtrend ever since the 9-day moving average crossed below the 20, and then it crossed below the 50. And right now, I'd say, uh, we could see potential upside. The reason I say that is because this Friday on the 4-hour time chart, the 9-day moving average finished over the 20-day moving average, and it looks like we're trying our best to break out of the 50-day moving average. So if we can break the 50-day moving average this upcoming week, we could potentially see more upside from Oracle for the long term. Now, the next stock I want to talk about is IBM. So on the daily chart, it's looking pretty good, I'd say. The reason I say that is because the 9-day moving average crossed over the 20-day moving average on August 6th. And basically, what was it? IBM, did it finish over the 9-day moving average? Yes, it did. So the 9-day moving average reads 234, and IBM closed at 235. So we did actually finish over the 9-day moving average. This is a good sign. I feel like if we do see a slight pullback, let's look at it on the 4-hour time chart. If we do see a slight pullback from IBM, let's see. I don't know why I pulled all the way over there, but okay. So on the 4-hour time chart, it's looking a little scary, I'd say. The reason I say that is because the 9-day moving average is below the 20-day moving average. But by the looks of it, I'd say it's bullish for me personally. I say this because the IBM finished over the 20-day moving average. To me, that's a bullish sign. So there could be a sign that the 9-day moving average starts curling above the 20-day moving average. We'll have to see what happens this week. And pretty much it looks like at one point here it happened. The 9-day moving average was below the 20-day moving average. And then the next day we saw this huge move to the upside from IBM. And so I feel like this could be a reversal to the upside for IBM if the 9-day moving average decides to break above the 20-day moving average. So the next stock we want to talk about is Tesla. So let's look at Tesla. Let's see. Okay, Tesla. So Tesla pretty much had a green day that Friday. It was up 5.14%. Currently, the 9-day moving average is above the 20-day moving average, which is a good sign. And so I feel like the next thing for Tesla that needs to happen for a breakout to happen is that we need to break above the 50-day moving average. The highest that we got this Friday was 366, and the 50-day moving average reads 365. So unfortunately, we couldn't, hold ourselves above the 50-day moving average. We actually kind of got rejected a little bit. So I feel like if we can, for next week, try to break that 50-day moving average, then we can see, Tesla break out to the upside. So on the 4-hour time chart, it's looking very bullish. It's been consistently been using the 50-day moving average as support. It used it here, it used it here, used it here, it used it here, and I used it here. And so let's say if, for whatever reason, Tesla does decide to do a slight pullback after the, Friday's rally, I expected for it to pull back to the 50-day moving average. And I honestly think if it does pull back to the 50-day moving average, we could see a little bit of support. We could see the 50-day moving average act as support. But from the looks of it, it looks like it used the 20-day moving average here as support. So there could be a possibility that Tesla could pull back to the 20-day moving average and use it as support. So we'll have to see what happens first, if it uses either the 20 or 50-day moving average as support. But we'll see what happens this week. So the next stock is Meta. Let's look at Meta. Sorry. Okay, Meta is really interesting. The reason I say that is because this is a very perfect setup right here. I'm going to show you guys. I'm not sure if I can draw it, but I'm going to try my best. And basically on the daily chart, I see a inverse head and shoulders pattern. And let's see if I can do this really nice or not. Oh man, that looks so bad. Okay. That's the first shoulder. That's the head. And this is the third shoulder. I tried my best, but you get the point. So that, where it is, right here, where it says 625 or 626, that's the first shoulder. Here where it says 730 or 731, that's the head. And here where it says 818, 819, 820, 821, that's the second shoulder. So usually you can Google it. Basically, whenever a inverse head and shoulders appears on a chart, it's a bullish indicator for that particular stock. So I feel like we could see a little relief rally for Meta, but I feel like we're gonna have a little trouble breaking out of the 9-day moving average. We kind of had trouble breaking out of the 9-day moving average here on August 3rd and August 4th, but we'll have to see what happens this upcoming week. So Meta is looking very interesting. So on the 4-hour time chart, I'd say, well, it is bearish. The reason I say that is because we're stuck under the 180 and 200-day moving average. But I'd say we're going to see a rally. Because if you look at the chart, look a little closely, the 9-day moving average is above the 20-day moving average, and basically Meta finished over the 9-day moving average on the 4-hour time chart. So I feel like the sign for a reversal for Meta could possibly happen, this upcoming week. So we'll have to see what happens this week. So those are the stocks that I'm watching this week. I'll keep you guys updated and see what happens with the portfolio and the $1,000 paper trading challenge. And yeah, I'll keep you updated. Peace.